Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review of the brand new Frankenstein movie that just came out a few weeks ago, a little bit ago, I don't know. It came out very recently and Sam and I went to see it on Halloween night and I want to talk about it. Let's begin. I liked this movie. I actually really enjoyed this movie. It is directed by Guillermo del Toro, which I did know that, but then when we went to see it, Sam mentioned in the car Del Toro, and I was like, yes, I did know that. I just completely forgot. And you can tell that this is a Del Toro movie in the costumes, in the production design. It is a beautiful movie. You can also tell in the gore in this movie. Like, there is some gore in this movie. It's not crazy or anything like that. It's not over the top, but there is blood, there is a bit of body mutilation. I mean, it's a Frankenstein movie. There's body mutilation. You hear bones cracking. You see body parts being bent in ways that they should not be being bent. They obviously show Victor Frankenstein mutilating corpses for his science experiment and stuff. So be aware that that kind of stuff is in this movie. It's not over the top, and the bits and pieces that we do get, it's not constant. Like, it's definitely not a ginormous part of this movie, the gore and the blood and stuff like that, but it is in it. Just be aware of that. There is also, I wanted to say, because I definitely had to look away at this part, there is on-screen animal death. They are CGI animals, obviously. I'll just say it, they're wolves that you see getting killed, and it's kind of obvious that they're CGI because they are quite large, but I just wanted you to be aware that that is on screen. You do see it, it does happen, be aware of that. The plot of this movie, it is obviously about Victor Frankenstein creating his monster and then the aftermath of what happens to the monster. So this movie is told in two parts. The beginning is Victor Frankenstein's story, and then the second part is actually the creature story. So Victor Frankenstein's story ends off where he attempts to destroy his laboratory as well as the creature. He attempts to destroy it, and then when the creature tells his side of the story, it's from the moment he escapes the laboratory explosion until literally where they are now in the present, telling their stories. This movie was great. I absolutely loved pretty much all of the acting in this. I really hate to say the only character I really had actually I had issues with two characters. One, just because what he did made no sense, and that was, I forget his name. Christoph Waltz plays him. Horlander, I think he's German or something, so there's probably some sort of accent in there that I am mispronouncing. But Christoph Waltz's character, he's the one who basically funds all of Victor Frankenstein's projects and all his science experiments and everything. Victor Frankenstein does ask him several times, like, what do you want in return for all this? And he doesn't tell him until literally right before Victor Frankenstein performs the big experiment to bring his corpse back to life. As I said, he mutilated a whole bunch of corpses to put together the perfect specimen, and he has it ready to go. There's lightning in the air. All he has to do is set up the rods to then electrocute the creature, and at that moment, Christoph Waltz's character tells him, I want to be part of the creature. I want you to include something of me in the creature. So that was kind of like, dude, like, you had this opportunity long ago. Like, you've been buddies with Victor for a long time. You've been funding this for a long time. Like, it didn't just happen that this creature was built, because there was several moments in the film where Victor even commented, saying things like, you told me I had as much time as I needed to do this. So obviously he's not rushing this. He's taking his time. He's had time. You had time to say, I want to be part of the creature. You could have said that from the very beginning, buddy. Why didn't you? So that kind of annoyed me. I was like, dude, you're an idiot. And then the only other character I really had some issues with, and she was just a lot, and I just didn't understand. I didn't understand her motivations. I didn't understand why she did what she did in the end, and that was Mia Goth's character, Elizabeth. I love Mia Goth. I think she's such an incredible actress, but in this film in particular, it's not like she was bad. She was not bad. I just didn't understand her motivations for why she did certain things, especially near the end of the movie, which I'm not going to talk about because I don't want to spoil it, but I just didn't understand her motivations of things, as I said. And she was very flip-floppy about what she wanted because her character was engaged to Victor's younger brother, William. And from the very beginning, she didn't seem like completely happy with William. And it seemed like she wanted more. It wasn't obvious. Like, it was hard to tell. Like, at certain moments, it was like, okay, she does love William, but then at other times, it was like, no, she's clearly not happy in this relationship. Nothing William is doing wrong. He's just not her person, essentially. And they go through this whole thing to make you think that maybe she is in love with Victor, and maybe she was in love with Victor, but then when things happen with Victor, she obviously falls out of love with him, if she ever was in love with him. And I just thought she was very flip-floppy, and I didn't understand what she wanted and why she ended up doing what she did at the very end of the movie. I just didn't understand it. But with that being said, Oscar Isaac as Victor Frankenstein, amazing. I love Oscar Isaac. I've really only seen him in a few things, one of them obviously being Star Wars, and in Star Wars he's like this like cocky flyboy. In this movie, he's a very cocky scientist. Even from the very beginning when he is telling his story when he's a young boy, you can tell even as a young boy he's cocky. He was raised by someone who was not very nice to him, and he in turn then became a not very nice person to the creature. And I liked that we saw that side of him. I mean, I haven't seen many Frankenstein movies. Probably the most recent Frankenstein movie I've seen was I, Frankenstein with Aaron Eckhart, which had nothing to do with Victor Frankenstein himself. It was all about the creature living in like modern times. It was not a good movie. Don't recommend it. But I really liked the side of Victor we got to see because personally, from all the Frankenstein lore I've consumed in my lifetime, I have always believed that Victor Frankenstein is not the hero. He is not a good person. And we definitely see that in this movie. We see that he is not a good person. And Oscar Isaac does a really good job of trying to convince us that he is a good person, but then also still portraying, no, he's not a good person. So I really liked seeing that. I thought he did a really good job of kind of playing this cocky scientist guy who believes everything he is doing is correct, but he's also just a terrible person, and I really liked seeing that. Jacob Elordi as the creature was incredible. The makeup that they did on this actor for this movie was insane. This movie better get a makeup nomination. Holy smokes, was it gorgeous. And for a good chunk of this movie, obviously he's the creature the whole entire movie, but for a very good chunk of this movie, the only thing he is wearing is like a pair of like shorts. So like he is full body makeup, which I heard he was in makeup for like 11 hours for those scenes, which is insane. And it looked really good. I really liked it, and I really liked his story and like his progression of the creature and the character he became. I loved it. I thought it was really good. Jacob Elordi, if he could get like a supporting actor nomination, that would be amazing. He definitely deserves it because that is a very physically demanding role for all the crawling around he had to do and everything he had to do and carrying people all over the place and destroying things and just everything he did as this character. He was phenomenal. There's one scene in particular that I was talking to Sam about just today that I really liked the majority of this scene, but then I felt it ended very anticlimactically. And what I mean by that is the actual scene where he does like electrocute his creature to bring him to life. It was a very cool scene. It was very well done. I was so invested in the screen as we were watching it. And don't get me wrong, I was not expecting it to be one of those Frankenstein movies where he comes to life and then Victor is, he's alive, he's alive. Was not expecting that. What we got instead, I felt was very anticlimactic to how the scene was going about. This will be my one and only spoiler alert that I'm going to talk about for how this scene went. I'm not going to go into too many spoilers of this movie. Go see it. It's fantastic if you like monster movies. I thought it was really, really well done. Del Toro is amazing. He's so good at his craft. This will be my one spoiler alert for how this particular scene went. The lightning comes down, it shocks the corpse, and he does not come to life. So Victor is obviously distraught. He has spent all this money and all this time to do this, and it did not work. So he goes to bed. He's upset that it didn't work. And when he wakes up in the morning, the creature is standing there alive. And that's it. Then he goes about like trying to teach the creature things because he basically has the brain of a baby, so he has to learn all these things. I didn't like that scene because I loved this really amazing, beautiful scene of the actual like experiment happening and the actual like climax of bringing this creature to life. It's not the climax of the movie, I'll just say that, but it was like this incredible scene of like bringing this creature to life, and then it just felt very anticlimactic that it was like, it didn't work. Bedtime. Oh, it did work. He's right there. Didn't like that. With that being said, still recommend this movie. I thought it was fantastic. A really great monster Frankenstein movie. Way better than I Frankenstein. I will just say that. But yeah, that's going to be it for now. That is my little bit of a review of the new Frankenstein movie. I hope you check it out. It was really great. And that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. I post new videos every single Friday, and I would love to have you here. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.